There are places the world races past without ever truly seeing, places that millions of people unknowingly leave behind in the rearview mirror. They pass through highways, they glimpse distant mountains, they notice rows of rice fields shimmering beneath the tropical sun. Then they keep driving, believing there is nothing extraordinary waiting beyond the road. That is exactly what happens to Pekalongan Regency. For many people, the name Pekalongan immediately brings one thing to mind: batik. Beautiful fabrics, colorful patterns, traditional craftsmanship. And while that reputation is deserved, it tells only a tiny fraction of an incredible story. Because beyond every piece of cloth lies generations of dreams, beyond every mountain lies centuries of history, beyond every river flows the determination of people who transformed nature into opportunity. Beyond every village lives a culture that refused to disappear despite the changing tides of history. This is not merely a place on the northern coast of central Java. This is a land where art became identity, where tradition became innovation, where culture became an economic engine, where ordinary people quietly built extraordinary lives. Hidden between the sparkling waters of the Java Sea and the lush mountains of central Java stands a region whose heartbeat has echoed through centuries, a place where fishermen greet the sunrise, where farmers patiently nurture fertile land, where artisans spend countless hours creating masterpieces with nothing more than hot wax, cloth, imagination, and unwavering patience, where every sunrise begins another chapter in a story still unfolding today. Located in central Java province, Pekalongan Regency stretches from the northern coastline toward the cool highlands in the south. Its administrative capital is Kajen, a growing center that connects diverse communities spread across coastal plains, fertile valleys, and mountainous landscapes. To the north lies the vast Java Sea, whose waters have long connected this region with traders from distant lands. To the east stands Batang Regency. To the west lies Pemalang Regency. To the south, the landscape rises dramatically toward Banjarnegara Regency, where cool mountain air replaces the humid coastal breeze. These natural boundaries created something remarkable. Instead of becoming isolated, Pekalongan became a crossroads. Merchants arrived by sea, travelers crossed its valleys, ideas flowed from one generation to another, cultures blended, traditions evolved. Yet somehow, the people never lost the essence of who they were. Nearly 900,000 people call this regency home. Each family contributes another thread to the intricate fabric of local life. Some cultivate rice fields that have fed communities for generations. Others harvest sugarcane from fertile plantations that stretch toward the horizon. Many dedicate themselves to weaving, dyeing, sewing, carving, trading, teaching, fishing, building, and creating. Together, they have shaped an economy that balances tradition with modern ambition. To understand Pekalongan, one must first understand the remarkable relationship between its people and creativity. Creativity here is not viewed as a luxury. It is survival. It is identity. It is inheritance. Children grow up watching parents transform blank fabric into vibrant stories. Grandparents pass down techniques that cannot simply be learned from books. Hands remember movements perfected over decades. Eyes recognize colors capable of expressing emotions without words. Entire neighborhoods seem to breathe together through the rhythm of artistic work. The world often celebrates innovation as something entirely new. But Pekalongan reminds us that innovation can also mean preserving ancient wisdom while adapting it for tomorrow. Long before globalization became a common word, the people here understood something powerful. Culture survives only when it continues to evolve. That understanding transformed Pekalongan into one of Indonesia's most celebrated centers of batik craftsmanship. Its designs became famous Not because they remained frozen in time, they became famous because they embraced change without abandoning their roots. Foreign influences arrived through maritime trade, Chinese floral patterns blended with local traditions, Arabic geometric inspirations found new expressions, European colours introduced fresh possibilities, Javanese philosophy remained the foundation. The result was something uniquely Pekalongan. No two pieces were exactly alike. Every pattern carried personality. Every motif whispered stories about nature, spirituality, prosperity, hope, and human connection. This extraordinary artistic tradition eventually gained recognition beyond Indonesia. The global appreciation for Indonesian batik highlighted the importance of preserving centuries of craftsmanship as an irreplaceable cultural treasure. For the artisans of Pekalongan, however, international recognition was never the ultimate goal. Their greatest achievement had always been something much simpler: keeping tradition alive, passing knowledge from one generation to the next, ensuring that future children would still know how to transform plain fabric into works of timeless beauty. Walk through villages where batik production continues today, and you quickly discover that every workshop has its own personality. Some specialize in intricate hand-drawn masterpieces requiring months of painstaking labor. Others combine traditional methods with modern techniques to serve contemporary markets. Young entrepreneurs experiment with fashion. Older artisans safeguard classical motifs. Neither replaces the other. Instead, they complement one another, proving that heritage and innovation do not need to compete. They can grow stronger together. The story of Pekalongan is not written only in cloth. It is also written in threads. The Regency has long been recognized as one of Indonesia's important centers of traditional weaving. Colourful textiles emerge from looms that echo with rhythmic sounds heard across generations. Each woven fabric represents countless hours of concentration. Each finished piece reflects mathematical precision hidden beneath artistic elegance. Patterns repeat flawlessly, colours balance naturally. The final creation carries not only aesthetic beauty, but also cultural meaning. These weaving traditions contribute significantly to local livelihoods. Families who have practiced the craft for decades continue producing textiles admired throughout Indonesia. Modern designers increasingly collaborate with traditional craftsmen, introducing heritage products to younger consumers without sacrificing authenticity. This quiet partnership between past and present may become one of the region's greatest strengths. Because in an age dominated by machines, handmade beauty becomes even more valuable. People everywhere begin searching once again for objects carrying genuine human stories. Pekalongan has those stories in abundance, but creativity alone does not define this remarkable region. Nature has also been extraordinarily generous. Travel northward and the landscape gradually opens toward the coastline. Here, the endless horizon of the Java Sea stretches into the distance. Fishing boats gently rise and fall with incoming waves. Morning sunlight paints the water in shimmering shades of gold. Sea breezes carry the scent of salt and possibility. Among the coastal attractions, Karuban Beach offers visitors an opportunity to experience tranquility away from crowded urban life. Soft sands meet rolling waves. The rhythmic sound of the ocean replaces the constant noise of cities. Families gather, children laugh, surfers wait patiently for the right swell. Photographers chase perfect sunsets. Nature quietly reminds every visitor that beauty often exists in places requiring no extravagant architecture, only sky, sea, sand, and time. The coastline has always been more than scenery. For centuries it served as an economic lifeline. Ships transported spices, textiles crossed oceans, ideas traveled alongside merchants, communities prospered because the sea connected rather than divided civilizations. Even today, maritime traditions continue shaping local identity. Fishing remains an important source of income for many coastal families. Their daily routines reflect remarkable resilience. Long before dawn, engines roar to life. Boats disappear beyond the horizon. Hours later, they return carrying the ocean's harvest. Every successful journey represents courage. The sea never offers guarantees, only possibilities. Further inland, another world emerges. Rice fields spread across fertile plains like giant emerald carpets. Water reflects drifting clouds. Farmers patiently tend crops that sustain thousands of households. The agricultural richness of Pekalongan Regency has supported communities for generations. Rice remains a staple. Sugarcane contributes significantly to local production. Vegetables flourish across fertile soils, nourished by favorable climate and abundant rainfall. Agriculture here is not simply an occupation, it is a partnership with nature. Every planting season begins with hope. Every harvest celebrates perseverance. Families understand that success depends not only on hard work, but also on respecting natural cycles far older than themselves. This relationship creates a deep appreciation for the environment. People know that healthy forests protect rivers. Healthy rivers nourish fields. Healthy fields sustain communities. Everything remains connected. As the land rises toward the southern highlands, temperatures become cooler. Dense vegetation blankets hillsides. Mist drifts gently between trees during early mornings. Birdsong replaces traffic. Fresh mountain air fills every breath. These upland regions reveal another face of Pekalongan, one far removed from bustling markets and busy workshops. Nature becomes the main storyteller. Every trail invites exploration. Every waterfall rewards curiosity. Every panoramic viewpoint reminds travelers how astonishing Indonesia's landscapes truly are. One of the most fascinating natural destinations is the Triti Kulon Nature Tourism Park. Protected ecosystems preserve native flora and fauna while providing opportunities for ecotourism. Visitors can hike through lush forests, observe wildlife, and experience the peaceful atmosphere that only well-preserved natural environments can provide. Such conservation areas play an increasingly important role in the future. As urbanization expands across the world, protected landscapes become priceless sanctuaries for biodiversity. They also remind humanity of an essential truth. Progress should never require sacrificing nature. The strongest communities learn how to grow while protecting the ecosystems that sustain them. Pekalongan's story reflects that ongoing balance. Economic development continues, industries expand, infrastructure improves, yet many communities remain deeply connected to the landscapes that shaped their ancestors. Perhaps that is why visitors often describe a surprising sense of authenticity. Life feels grounded, people smile easily, conversations unfold naturally, traditions remain visible rather than hidden inside museums. Culture lives in everyday routines. It breathes inside markets, festivals, homes, schools, workshops, family gatherings, and quiet moments shared over simple meals. Those meals introduce another unforgettable chapter of Pekalongan's identity, because understanding a place also means tasting its history. Every local recipe carries generations of adaptation. Ingredients reflect geography. Cooking techniques preserve ancestral knowledge. Flavors tell stories long before anyone speaks a single word. Sit down at a family table in Pekalongan Regency, and you are not simply eating. You are participating in traditions that have survived the rise and fall of kingdoms, the arrival of foreign merchants, the struggles of colonialism, the birth of a nation, and the relentless pace of modern life. One of the dishes that best represents the soul of this region is Megono. At first glance, it appears simple: steamed rice served with finely chopped young jackfruit that has been mixed with freshly grated coconut and fragrant spices. Nothing about it seems extravagant. There are no luxurious ingredients, no elaborate presentation, no expensive delicacies. Yet that simplicity is exactly what makes Megono extraordinary. Every spoonful reflects a philosophy deeply rooted in Javanese culture. Greatness does not always come from abundance. Sometimes it comes from making the most of what nature generously provides. Young jackfruit, coconut, herbs, garlic, shallots, and carefully balanced seasonings come together to create flavors that are comforting, earthy, and unforgettable. For countless families, Megono is more than breakfast. It is childhood, it is home, it is memory. It is the taste of mornings before school, the taste of family gatherings, the taste of festivals, the taste of ordinary days that become extraordinary simply because everyone is together. Visitors often discover that the most memorable meals are not found inside luxurious restaurants. They are found inside humble food stalls where recipes have remained unchanged for decades, where grandparents still prepare dishes exactly as they learned from their own parents, where every customer is welcomed with genuine warmth rather than rehearsed hospitality. Food becomes conversation. Conversation becomes friendship. Friendship becomes the reason travelers promise themselves they will return. Another unique culinary specialty found in the region is satay blengong. Unlike ordinary satay, this dish reflects local ingenuity and adaptation. Its distinctive flavor, careful preparation, and unique history make it an experience unlike anything most visitors have ever tasted. Each region of Indonesia expresses identity through food. Pekalongan is no different. Its cuisine tells stories of farmers, fishermen, traders, and artisans who transformed locally available ingredients into dishes capable of bringing entire communities together. Because food has always been more than nourishment, it is culture served on a plate. It is history prepared over fire. It is love expressed without words. As travelers continue exploring Pekalongan Regency, another remarkable realization begins to emerge. This is not merely a region preserving old traditions. It is also a place embracing the future with quiet confidence. Walk through industrial areas and modern textile factories operate alongside family-owned workshops. Large production facilities coexist with small home industries. Technology improves efficiency. Experience safeguards quality. Neither one replaces the other. Instead, they create an economy where heritage and innovation strengthen each other. The textile and garment industries have become major contributors to regional development. Thousands of workers dedicate their skills to producing fabrics, clothing, embroidery, and fashion products distributed throughout Indonesia and beyond. Behind every finished garment lies an invisible network of designers, tailors, dyers, transport workers, entrepreneurs, marketers, and countless other individuals whose efforts often go unnoticed. Every thriving industry depends upon human stories. Every successful business begins with someone's dream. Many of those dreams started inside modest homes. A sewing machine placed in the corner of a living room, a small table used for batik painting, a simple weaving loom inherited from parents. What began as family craftsmanship gradually evolved into enterprises supporting entire communities. These stories remind us that economic growth is rarely built overnight. It grows patiently, one family at a time, one customer at a time, one opportunity at a time. Resilience defines Pekalongan perhaps more than any other characteristic. Like many regions across Indonesia, it has faced natural challenges. Floods have occasionally affected low-lying areas. Changing global markets have forced industries to adapt. Economic uncertainty has tested businesses large and small. Yet every challenge has also revealed something remarkable about the people. They refuse to surrender easily. When one opportunity disappears, another is created. When circumstances change, innovation follows. Communities rebuild. Families support one another. Traditions continue. This resilience has been shaped over centuries. Generations learn that success never arrives without persistence. Farmers understand this. Not every season produces perfect harvests. Fishermen understand this. Not every journey brings abundant catches. Artisans understand this. Not every masterpiece sells immediately. Entrepreneurs understand this. Not every investment succeeds, but they continue anyway, because hope remains stronger than disappointment. That spirit quietly defines Pekalongan. Visitors often remember something difficult to describe after spending time here. It is not only the scenery, not only the food, not only the beautiful textiles. It is the atmosphere, the rhythm of everyday life. Morning markets buzzing before sunrise, motorcycles weaving through narrow village roads, children laughing outside schools, the distant call to prayer echoing across rice fields, neighbors greeting one another by name, women carefully arranging colorful fabrics outside small shops, craftsmen concentrating in peaceful silence while creating intricate patterns that require extraordinary patience. Everything feels connected, nothing appears rushed. Even in a rapidly changing world, many communities have preserved an appreciation for slower living, for meaningful conversations, for family, for shared meals, for craftsmanship that values quality over speed. That may be one of Pekalongan's greatest lessons. Modern life often convinces people that faster is always better. Faster communication, faster transportation, faster production, faster decisions. Yet true excellence often requires slowing down. A beautiful piece of batik cannot be rushed. A healthy rice harvest cannot be rushed. Strong relationships cannot be rushed. Character cannot be rushed. Some of life's greatest achievements unfold patiently, almost invisibly, through daily dedication. The people of Pekalongan understand this because they live it every day. History also whispers throughout this landscape. Long before modern administrative boundaries existed, these lands witnessed the movement of kingdoms, merchants, scholars, and explorers. Trade routes connected coastal settlements with inland communities. Religious teachings spread peacefully across villages. Cultural influences arrived from distant civilizations, yet gradually blended with local wisdom instead of replacing it. The result was a remarkably rich cultural identity that continues evolving today. Traditional ceremonies remain important markers of community life. Harvest celebrations express gratitude. Religious festivals strengthen unity. Wedding traditions preserve ancestral customs. Music accompanies important milestones. Dance becomes storytelling. Every generation contributes new chapters while honoring those who came before. This continuity gives communities a powerful sense of belonging. People know where they came from, therefore they have greater confidence about where they are going. Education has also become increasingly important throughout the Regency. Schools continue preparing younger generations for opportunities unimaginable to their grandparents. Technology enters classrooms. Digital skills complement traditional knowledge. Young people dream not only of preserving heritage, but also of introducing it to the world. Many students grow up bilingual. Some master international business. Others study design, engineering, agriculture, environmental science, or information technology. Yet many return home carrying new ideas capable of strengthening local communities rather than abandoning them. This combination of global knowledge and local identity creates exciting possibilities. Imagine traditional batik promoted through digital platforms reaching customers across continents. Imagine ecotourism supporting conservation while generating sustainable livelihoods. Imagine agricultural innovations increasing productivity without harming the environment. Imagine young entrepreneurs transforming heritage into opportunities for future generations. These possibilities are already beginning to emerge. Pekalongan is not trapped in the past, it is building upon it. The future belongs not only to places with towering skyscrapers, it also belongs to communities capable of preserving authenticity while embracing change. That balance may become one of the defining strengths of Indonesia in the 21st century, and Pekalongan stands as one inspiring example of what that balance can look like. Travelers searching only for famous landmarks may overlook places like this, but those searching for genuine experiences discover something much more valuable. They discover real people, real stories, real traditions, real craftsmanship, real hospitality. Experiences that remain vivid long after photographs fade into digital archives. Perhaps that is why the most meaningful journeys are often the least expected. Not every unforgettable destination appears on international bucket lists. Some quietly wait beyond familiar highways, patiently welcoming those curious enough to slow down and look a little closer. Pekalongan Regency is one of those places, a land that proves greatness does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes greatness is woven carefully into cloth, cultivated patiently in fertile fields, prepared lovingly inside humble kitchens, protected quietly within forests, carried proudly in the hearts of ordinary people whose lives together create something truly extraordinary. If you spend enough time in Pekalongan Regency, something unexpected begins to happen. You stop measuring the place by its attractions. Instead, you begin measuring it by its people. Because destinations may capture your attention, but people capture your heart. Wake before sunrise in one of its villages and you will witness a rhythm that has remained remarkably consistent for generations. The first sounds are not alarms from smartphones. They are roosters greeting the morning, the gentle rustling of leaves stirred by cool mountain air, the distant hum of motorcycles carrying workers toward markets and workshops, the quiet voices of neighbors exchanging greetings before beginning another day. As dawn slowly paints the eastern sky with shades of orange and gold, the entire Regency awakens. Farmers shoulder their tools before the heat of the afternoon arrives. Fishermen prepare their boats with practiced efficiency. Market vendors carefully arrange fresh vegetables, tropical fruits, spices, flowers, and handmade goods that will soon fill colorful stalls. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifts through narrow streets. Small family kitchens come alive with the sizzling sound of breakfast being prepared. Everywhere there is movement, not hurried movement, purposeful movement. Each person understands their role within the larger rhythm of community life. There is something deeply inspiring about watching ordinary people perform ordinary tasks with extraordinary dedication. A batik artisan may spend hours completing only a small section of fabric. To an outsider, the progress appears painfully slow, but to the artisan, every careful line matters. Every curve must be precise. Every detail contributes to the final masterpiece. One careless mistake cannot simply be erased. Patience becomes part of the craft itself. That lesson extends far beyond batik. It reflects the philosophy of life embraced by many people throughout Pekalongan. True excellence demands patience. There are no shortcuts worth taking. The same principle can be seen in agriculture. A farmer cannot force rice to grow overnight. The soil must be prepared. Seeds must be selected carefully. Water must arrive at the right time. Weeds must be removed. Storms must be endured. Only then does the harvest arrive. Success follows those willing to respect the process. Modern society often celebrates instant results, instant communication, instant entertainment, instant fame, instant wealth. Yet nature continues teaching a very different lesson. Everything meaningful takes time. Forests need decades to mature. Mountains require millions of years to form. Cultures develop across centuries. Families are strengthened through countless shared moments. Masterpieces emerge from thousands of careful decisions. Pekalongan quietly reminds the world that patience is not weakness, it is power. Walk through neighborhoods where textile production thrives, and another remarkable quality becomes impossible to ignore: collaboration. Rarely does one person accomplish everything alone. One artisan creates patterns, another prepares dyes, someone else washes fabrics, another carefully dries them beneath the tropical sun. Tailors transform cloth into clothing. Shop owners introduce finished products to customers. Drivers transport goods across provinces. Every success belongs to many hands. This spirit of cooperation has long defined village life throughout Indonesia. Communities understand that individual prosperity becomes stronger when shared. Neighbours help one another during harvest season. Families gather to celebrate important milestones. Villagers work together when repairing roads, cleaning public spaces, or preparing festivals. This tradition of mutual cooperation continues to shape daily life despite rapid modernization. It reminds everyone that strength is multiplied when people stand together rather than apart. Visitors often arrive searching for beautiful photographs. They certainly find them. Rolling rice terraces glowing beneath the afternoon sun, mist drifting across distant hills, brightly coloured batik fabrics fluttering outside workshops, traditional markets overflowing with vibrant produce, children laughing as they race across village fields, golden sunsets reflecting across coastal waters. Yet the most unforgettable images are often impossible to capture with a camera. The proud smile of an elderly artisan completing another masterpiece. The quiet satisfaction of a farmer inspecting healthy crops. The excitement of young students eagerly discussing dreams for the future. The warmth of strangers welcoming visitors as though greeting old friends. Those moments remain stored not inside memory cards, but inside the human heart. Tourism continues to grow across many parts of Indonesia, and Pekalongan possesses tremendous potential to benefit from this development. Not through enormous theme parks or artificial attractions. Its greatest strength lies in authenticity. Travelers increasingly seek destinations offering meaningful experiences rather than superficial entertainment. They want to learn, to connect, to understand, to participate. Pekalongan offers exactly that. Visitors can watch artisans create batik entirely by hand. They can speak directly with weavers, preserving techniques inherited across generations. They can taste traditional dishes prepared from family recipes. They can walk through peaceful rice fields guided by local farmers. They can explore forests where conservation protects remarkable biodiversity. Every experience becomes an opportunity for cultural exchange rather than simple sightseeing. This kind of tourism creates benefits reaching far beyond economics. It encourages cultural preservation. It motivates younger generations to value local traditions. It supports small businesses. It strengthens community pride. Most importantly, it reminds the world that heritage possesses tremendous value, not because it belongs to the past, but because it continues shaping the future. One cannot discuss Pekalongan without appreciating the remarkable role women have played throughout its history. Across countless households, women have been the guardians of artistic traditions. Many mastered batik making from an early age. Their steady hands transform plain cloth into intricate works of art admired around the world. Their creativity supported family incomes. Their knowledge became priceless inheritance passed lovingly to daughters and granddaughters. Generation after generation, these women quietly preserved one of Indonesia's most celebrated cultural traditions. Their names may never appear inside history books, yet their influence lives on through every beautifully crafted piece of batik carrying the spirit of Pekalongan. Their stories remind us that history is not shaped only by kings, presidents, generals, or famous leaders. History is also created inside ordinary homes, by mothers teaching daughters, by fathers guiding sons, by grandparents sharing wisdom beneath quiet evening skies, by families refusing to let traditions disappear. This invisible legacy becomes one of the strongest foundations any society can possess. The younger generation of Pekalongan now faces an exciting challenge. How do they honor tradition while embracing the opportunities of a rapidly changing world? Fortunately, many young entrepreneurs have discovered inspiring answers. Some introduce batik through international fashion shows. Others market handmade products using digital platforms. Some develop environmentally friendly dyeing techniques that reduce pollution while preserving artistic quality. Others combine traditional motifs with contemporary designs that appeal to younger audiences across the globe. These innovations prove something important. Culture is not a museum exhibit. It is alive, it grows, it adapts, it evolves. Its roots remain deeply planted, while its branches continue reaching toward new horizons. That is exactly how civilizations endure, not by resisting change, but by guiding change with wisdom. Pekalongan has quietly practiced this balance for generations, perhaps without even realizing how valuable that lesson has become for the modern world. Because today, many societies struggle to protect identity while embracing progress. Pekalongan demonstrates that both goals can exist together. You can preserve craftsmanship while adopting technology. You can celebrate heritage while encouraging innovation. You can respect ancestors while empowering future generations. This harmony may become one of Indonesia's greatest strengths as the nation continues growing on the global stage. Every thread woven into a piece of batik represents connection. Every harvest represents hope. Every successful business represents courage. Every smiling child represents possibility. Every elder represents living memory. Every village represents resilience. And together, they form something far greater than any individual achievement. They form the living spirit of Pekalongan Regency, a spirit that cannot be measured by statistics alone, a spirit that cannot be summarized inside travel brochures, a spirit that must be experienced, felt, remembered, because some places simply leave footprints in your journey. Pekalongan leaves fingerprints on your soul. There is a saying that every great civilization leaves behind monuments. Some leave towering pyramids, some build magnificent palaces, others construct enormous cathedrals that stand for centuries. But there is another kind of monument, one that cannot be carved from stone, one that cannot be measured by height, one that cannot be photographed from space. It is the monument of human character, the invisible legacy created by kindness, perseverance, creativity, and compassion. Pekalongan Regency is filled with these monuments. They exist in the steady hands of artisans who refuse to compromise quality. They exist in farmers who continue planting despite uncertain seasons. They exist in fishermen who trust the sea before dawn each morning. They exist in teachers who dedicate their lives to educating the next generation. They exist in parents who work tirelessly so their children may dream bigger than they ever could. These are the monuments that truly endure, because buildings eventually weather, empires eventually fade, but values passed from one generation to another can outlive centuries. As you continue exploring the Regency, another remarkable pattern begins to emerge. Nothing here exists in isolation. The mountains feed the rivers nourish the rice fields sustain communities, communities preserve traditions, traditions strengthen identity, identity inspires creativity, creativity supports the economy allows families to educate their children. Educated children eventually return with fresh ideas that strengthen the communities once again. Everything is connected. It is a cycle of life that has quietly unfolded for generations. Perhaps this is one of the greatest lessons hidden within Pekalongan. Progress is never achieved by focusing on only one piece of the puzzle. Real progress happens when nature, culture, education, industry, and community grow together. Take away one element and the entire balance begins to weaken. Protect every element and prosperity becomes sustainable. That philosophy feels increasingly important in today's world. Across the globe, cities compete to build taller skylines. Industries race toward greater efficiency. Technology advances at breathtaking speed. Yet many people quietly wonder whether something essential has been lost along the way. The feeling of belonging, the connection between neighbors, the appreciation for handmade craftsmanship, the patience to master a skill over decades instead of days, the respect for traditions that shaped generations before us. Pekalongan does not reject modernity, far from it. The region continues developing, businesses expand, roads improve, digital technology reaches more villages each year, young entrepreneurs embrace global markets, students connect with the world through education and innovation. But amid all these changes, many communities continue protecting something priceless, their humanity. That may become one of their greatest competitive advantages. Machines can manufacture products, artificial intelligence can process information, automation can increase production, but authenticity cannot be automated. Trust cannot be mass-produced. Culture cannot be copied. Soul cannot be manufactured. That is why handcrafted batik continues captivating people around the world. Every piece carries tiny imperfections. Every line reflects the movement of a real human hand. Every pattern represents countless moments of concentration and care. Those imperfections become proof of authenticity. They remind us that beauty often lives inside what is uniquely human. Imagine a child growing up in Pekalongan today. Perhaps she watches her grandmother creating batik every afternoon. Perhaps her father works in agriculture. Perhaps her mother manages a small family business. She attends school where she learns science, mathematics, literature, and digital technology. At home, she learns patience, respect, craftsmanship, and gratitude. She belongs to two worlds at once, one rooted deeply in tradition, the other reaching confidently toward the future. If both worlds continue supporting each other rather than competing, that child will inherit something extraordinary. She will inherit identity. And identity is one of the greatest gifts any society can offer its younger generations. Without identity, progress becomes directionless. Without heritage, innovation loses purpose. Without memory, ambition loses meaning. Pekalongan demonstrates that preserving the past does not prevent building the future. Instead, it provides the strongest possible foundation. Throughout history, Indonesia has always drawn strength from its incredible diversity. Thousands of islands, hundreds of ethnic communities, hundreds of languages, countless local traditions. Each region contributes something unique to the national story. Pekalongan contributes artistry, creativity, perseverance, hospitality, a remarkable ability to transform culture into opportunity. These contributions extend far beyond regional borders. When someone proudly wears Indonesian batik abroad, they are also carrying a piece of Pekalongan's legacy. When designers around the world admire intricate textile patterns inspired by Indonesian traditions, they are recognizing generations of anonymous artisans whose dedication shaped that reputation. When travelers return home speaking warmly about the kindness they experienced here, they become ambassadors for the people they met. The influence of a place often reaches much farther than its geography. Sometimes it travels through stories, sometimes through art, sometimes through memories, sometimes through simple acts of kindness that remain unforgettable. This is why travel matters, not because it allows us to collect destinations, but because it allows us to collect understanding. Every journey expands perspective. Every conversation challenges assumptions. Every unfamiliar place reminds us that humanity is beautifully diverse while sharing the same hopes. People everywhere want peace. People everywhere want opportunity. People everywhere want their children to live better lives. People everywhere cherish family. People everywhere celebrate love. People everywhere overcome hardship. Pekalongan tells that universal story through its own unique voice. Its language may be different, its traditions may be different, its landscapes may be different, yet its hopes remain wonderfully familiar. Perhaps one day you will stand along its coastline as the evening sun slowly disappears beyond the horizon. Perhaps you will walk through a workshop where warm wax gently touches clean white cloth before becoming an extraordinary masterpiece. Perhaps you will share a simple meal with local families whose generosity makes strangers feel like lifelong friends. Perhaps you will breathe cool mountain air while looking across endless green valleys stretching toward the distance. And perhaps, in one quiet moment, you will realize something that cannot be found on any map. The true treasure of Pekalongan has never been only its beaches, or its mountains, or its agriculture, or even its world-renowned batik. Its greatest treasure has always been its people. People who understand that success means little if it is not shared. People who believe traditions deserve protection. People who embrace change without abandoning their identity. People who quietly prove every single day that greatness is not determined by fame, it is determined by character. The world often celebrates places that shout the loudest. Pekalongan has chosen a different path. It whispers, and those who take the time to listen discover one of Indonesia's most inspiring stories, a story woven with patience, coloured with hope, strengthened by resilience, guided by wisdom, and carried forward by generations who continue proving that the richest places on earth are not always those with the tallest buildings or the brightest lights. Sometimes they are the places where culture still breathes, where community still matters, where hard work still earns respect, where every sunrise brings another opportunity to create beauty, another opportunity to serve others, another opportunity to leave the world just a little better than it was yesterday. That is the quiet promise of Pekalongan Regency, a promise stitched into every thread, rooted in every field, carried by every wave, echoing through every mountain, and living forever in the hearts of the people who proudly call this remarkable land home. As night slowly settles over Pekalongan Regency, the pace of life begins to soften. The golden sunlight that illuminated rice fields throughout the day gradually fades into deep shades of orange, crimson, and violet. Fishing boats return from the sea. Farmers finish their final tasks before walking home along narrow paths that wind through emerald fields. the sounds of busy markets slowly give way to the peaceful rhythm of village life. Smoke rises gently from family kitchens. Children gather with friends in front of their homes. Parents sit together after a long day of work, exchanging stories while warm meals are served. Somewhere in a quiet workshop, an artisan continues painting delicate lines of wax across a length of white fabric. The world outside may already be asleep, but creativity has no clock. Masterpieces are often born during the quietest hours. There is something profoundly beautiful about this daily cycle. Morning begins with hope. Afternoon is filled with effort. Evening becomes a time for gratitude. Then another sunrise arrives, bringing another opportunity to continue building a better future. Perhaps this simple rhythm explains why life here feels so genuine. People are connected to the passing of seasons, to changing weather, to family traditions, to neighbours, to the land beneath their feet, to the sea stretching beyond the northern horizon. In many parts of the modern world, people have become disconnected from these natural rhythms. Days are measured by deadlines rather than daylight. Success is often measured by speed instead of significance. Yet Pekalongan quietly reminds us that there is another way to live, a way that values balance, a way that respects both ambition and gratitude, a way that recognizes prosperity not only in financial success, but also in meaningful relationships, healthy communities, preserved traditions, and harmony with nature. This philosophy has never needed a slogan. It exists naturally within everyday life. It appears in the patience of grandparents teaching traditional skills to curious grandchildren. It appears in families gathering around the dinner table without rushing through conversation. It appears in neighbours helping one another without expecting anything in return. It appears in communities working together whenever challenges arise. That spirit has carried Pekalongan through changing times. History has never been easy. Indonesia has experienced periods of remarkable triumph as well as tremendous hardship. Colonial rule, the struggle for independence, economic transformations, natural disasters, technological revolutions, global competition. Every generation has faced its own uncertainties. The people of Pekalongan face them with the same quiet determination that still defines the region today. They adapted without surrendering who they were. That ability may become increasingly valuable during the decades ahead. The future will demand innovation. It will reward creativity. It will require resilience. Fortunately, these are qualities deeply rooted within the people of Pekalongan. Creativity has always been part of daily life. Resilience has always been necessary. Innovation has always emerged whenever circumstances demanded new solutions. This is why the younger generation carries such extraordinary potential. Today, a young designer in Pekalongan can create a batik pattern inspired by centuries of tradition and share it instantly with customers on the other side of the world. A local entrepreneur can introduce handcrafted products to international markets through digital platforms. Students can learn from universities across the globe while remaining deeply connected to their hometown. Farmers can adopt smarter agricultural techniques while preserving fertile land for future generations. Technology no longer forces communities to abandon their heritage.